It's Dakota College of Botano time, and this morning we are joined by Dr. Gary Albrightson. Good morning, Mr. Dr. Albrightson. How are you?
Just fine. Thank you for having me.
Of course, yes, yes, yes. And I know that we have talked about these campus reads before, and there's another one coming up, and it's coming up soon.
Yes.
What's the date and time on this bad boy?
November 16 at noon, at 7 p.m.
Okay.
It's a Wednesday.
Now, what are we talking about this morning for the campus read?
Well, the book itself is called 40 Chances,
Okay.
Hope in a Hungry World by Howard G. Buffett. And he talks about the problem of food insecurity, which he defines as a situation when a person, a family, a group, a community does not know where their next meal is coming from. And
Oh,
he seems to think, he says in his book, that that problem can be solved with by U.S. agriculture, with some innovative agricultural practices, and with some changes in agricultural policy. And so we've had, the book read exists to give first year students some kind of sense of what it is a Dakota College at Botano does, our campus mission, our focus rather, nature, technology, and beyond. And this book is to illustrate how all the different academic disciplines can come together and work on a problem. And so this book, the committee that chose that thought that this would be a good way to illustrate that. Our first speaker was Tim Schroeder in September, and he talked about the issue of food insecurity right here in Botano County.
okay.
And our second speaker was Dr. Linda Burbidge, who spoke to us last month about the policy side of the history of agricultural policy. And the folks at Gooseneck Implement have agreed to contribute their expertise to talk about current agricultural technology, where it is and where it seems to be going.
Okay, all
And
right.
they're sharing that expertise with us because the book was published in 2013, and the
Oh.
Howard G. Buffett Foundation is still working on this issue
Oh, wow.
of trying to solve food insecurity. And part of reading a book, because you're working with nonfiction and sources, the book is old as soon as it's published
Sure.
because all based on research that's already been done. And we want to help students improve their reading skills and the writing skills. We want to help students understand what a college or university education does with the example of this book. And the folks at Gooseneck are going to bring us up to date on the technology for farming and as it exists.
It's interesting you say that about, how when a book is published, a nonfiction book like that, as soon as it comes out, it's outdated because things are happening at that point and moving forward. Are there updates available for this, or is that exactly what Gooseneck Implement's going to be talking about, all the updates and things like that?
They're going to talk about, as I understand it, the technology of farming
Okay.
and where it exists today and where it might be going today. And I don't, I would say that we're not looking specifically at updates to his book. Buffett, I don't believe, has done a revised edition of it yet,
Okay.
or if he even plans to do one.
Sure.
But we want to get some kind of sense of input from the campus community and the community that supports DCB, for people who have expertise to talk about how they can learn, how our students can learn this facet of solving the problem, the agricultural
Okay.
side of that. We have a speaker next spring that wants to talk about regenerative agriculture, and that's something that I think Buffett alludes to, but the name has changed and the
Oh, sure.
concepts have probably
Sure,
changed.
sure.
So we'll learn more about that, and there's some other things we're planning for in the spring. But this event, noon and 7, November 16, we're going to live stream it on YouTube. That'll be up on our social media. A link to that'll be at the 7 p.m. And so that people can hear what's going on and see, and they can be able to participate through text, through whatever digital device they have
Okay.
for this.
And so, this is a week from today.
Yes.
Yeah, it's next Wednesday. So
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Noon and 7 o'clock. And where is it happening at again?
That is in the Alumni Center on the second floor of Thatcher, in
Okay.
the Thatcher Edition on DCB campus.
Okay.
Everybody's welcome. There's no charge. We want you to come and participate and ask questions and learn something more about this problem and a potential solution. to this
Right.
problem.
Out of curiosity, how do you go about picking these books?
There's a committee that meets once a month,
Mm-hmm.
every month except December. And we get together as a group and we get a list of books and we talk about what we'd like to read. And then at the end of the year, we talk about which one seems to be the best for
Sure.
illustrating the campus focus, nature, technology, and beyond. And at the same time, is something that would have some appeal to first year students.
Okay.
And they're not a huge hurdle because when you're talking about nonfiction, source-based writing, it can get pretty involved, and we'd like to make something as much as possible accessible
Right.
for students that are just starting out as an introduction to college
Right.
studies in many ways.
And not be too intimidating either.
That too. That too.
Yeah, that you don't want to push them away. You want them to come in and experience this and learn and grow, like you said.
Absolutely.
This is great, and I love the fact that you can get a link so you can watch it if you can't attend.
Exactly. Yes.
That's awesome.
At 7 p.m. And social media, I don't know much about that, but they tell me there'll be a link there.
Okay.
And
We're in the same boat, pal. Yeah, I'm horrible at it. Horrible.
they'll send it to me on my email so I can send it out. So they make
Okay.
it very uncomplicated for me.
Very good. Very user friendly. Then.
Yes.
For you, yeah, it have to be for me as well. This sounds very interesting. And it was food
Insecurity.
Food insecurity. Okay, yeah.
And if we
Okay.
change if we use different agricultural practices and we change our policies, seems to be one of the things that he's talking about in the book, we have the potential to end that problem, or at least greatly reduce it, which was at 1 billion people at the time this book was published, was the estimate across the globe. And it's an issue, as we found out from our first speaker, it's an issue right here in Bottineau, right here in Bottineau County and around the state. There's food banks in Minot, and there's food banks in Fargo, probably every town
Right.
in this state. It seems to be an issue.
And sadly, they're getting used a lot.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I've heard.
So
yeah.
yeah. Anything else you'd like to add, Dr.
No,
Albrightson?
I think we've covered it in the
Okay.
time we have here.
Well, I hope everybody gets to get out and at least view it on the link. If they can't make it out, we'd love to get some great numbers for this because this sounds like a very cool discussion.
Very good.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We can do this all day. All right. Dr. Gary Albrightson from Dakota College of Bottineau.